Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's Thursday Live. I am Denise Armenio, and I am here with Claire McIntyre, and we are going to have our weekly Thursday Live with you today. We are going to work today on functional zones. So we're going to get started on that now. I will be sharing both my screens. I will be sharing my screen with you. So hopefully you will get a better understanding of that. So just give me a moment and I will. Okay, so here we are with both the screens. And I'm just going to put in, where's our Thursday Live? We should have Thursday Live here. There we go. Just going to use Thursday Live as just an example. I'm not even going to put in an energetic affirmation here. Whoops, I can't move these things. They get in the way. Okay, so let me just start the analysis here. So for anybody who is new here to the Genius, we're working with the Genius app, and the functional zones is a more advanced, I guess, aspect of it. It is not something, honestly, I use all the time, but it is there for you if you run into situations where you're not getting any results. I would definitely encourage you to look here or into Entangled Insights. If you don't know what Entangled Insights are, that could be another Thursday Live that we work with it. But today we had the request for functional zone, so I'm going to honor that. So let's just look quickly here, and I'm just gonna, if I can. Whoa, that's a little version. Okay, there we go. Look to see what came up here. So I am going to just start with how I always start, and that's with my step one. And my step one is using the vessel priming library, which has all the elements of the biofield, your minerals, vitamins, and amino acids. And that's just to prime your body to make sure that your energy field is as balanced as we can get it, and your body, we're sending the proper nutrients that your body needs for optimal cell function. So we can look first at what our aura, the group aura is. Okay. So that is not, to me, a very healthy looking aura. So we do have some work to do. It is very fuzzy, a lot of interference, and the colors and the black in the center just don't look so great to me. So we will try to clear that out. Looking at the old version, the good thing I would say about this, it looks like that we're mostly grounded and within our bodies, so that's good. Although this isn't necessarily great either. So we have some work to do today, and hopefully we can work on clearing that. We can just look quickly at today's stress just to see what's showing up for the group. Blood sugar is coming up, cardiovascular is coming up as red. So red means that it is an acute energetic disturbance, and that it could be heat or inflammation, over energy, but also causing some kind of stress on our body today. And the Genius does use a numerical value system. So that numerical value system goes from 0 to 777. 0 to 200 is represented by the color blue, and blue is observed to be chronic energetic disturbances. So that would be more like stagnant energy, under energy, and items that are represented in this range, the low range or blue, would be causing more of a crisis on our body. So, and then the next level would be 201 to 450 is green. 451 to 600 is yellow, and 601 to 777 is represented by the color red, which I already just mentioned. It's acute energetic disturbances, meaning it's happening in the here and now. A lot of times also, when it's in the red, we may have absorbed things from other people around us, co-workers, if we're in crowded places. And as the energy is going through us, it kind of gets stuck. And then it's up to us to work through it, or run your Genius and help balance it that way. So as far as what is showing up blue or more chronic for the group, we see adrenals, pathogens, and connective tissue. So we just want to keep that in the back of our hat there while we're working. The first thing I am going to do, as I mentioned, was I'm going to go into custom libraries and begin the analysis. Okay, and now I can just use this drop down in the center, and there's the search function here, and I can type in bioterrain. And here's the vessel priming frequencies that it is showing as blue, and also the normal bacteria is showing as blue. I'm actually going to drag both of them in and work with both of them today. Even though it does say finish, we do have the flexibility always to just go by our gut on what we need. So I am going to bring in those beneficial like probiotics into our gut. So let's work with those. And I'm going to begin analysis. It is also nice to finish with the good probiotics in your gut. So, you know, it's something that sometimes you could do in the beginning and at the end. So I'm just going to select all and put the timer on 1 minute. And here we go. Awesome. So our average percent rectification is 53%. That's great. Anything over 40% is considered excellent. Anything between 20 and 40% is considered good. And then I also like to look at the harmony, alignment, and energy flow at the top and see those percentages. And so I'll look at the lowest percentage in this case, which is 45%. And I don't really like the range to exceed 20%. In this case, it slightly exceeds that amount because the alignment is 68%. but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to proceed as if it was in the 20% because it's very close to that 20%. So the next thing I would do here is move the timer to 0 minutes. I will select all to deselect everything. And I'm just going to work with the lows and the highs and just see. And oh, you know what? I also want to rescan them because we had a pretty good rectification. I like to rescan them. So this is going to give us a new set of highs and lows. So now I'm going to select, let's just lows and the highs again. And I'm going to put the timer on 0 minutes, which allows me to manually stop it whenever I want. So I'll probably only have it run for about 30 seconds. Okay, excellent. So we had a 49% rectification. That's great. And the percentages above are well within that 20% range that I like to see. So that's amazing. So we can go back now to the system overview page. I am going to empty out the main whole tray, and that allows us now to go into the step 2, which is going into the general overview. And that general overview enables us to look at all the items, not just the items on the system overview, but the items in our libraries. And it takes all the line items and everything out of its categories and puts it in chronicle order. And this to me is pretty powerful because it gives us the opportunity to see what is affecting us and could be potential underlying causes to some of the symptoms or things that are going on in our body. So in order to get there, you can click on the system overview up at the top, and you can see it brings you directly to the general overview. Now, I'm going to show you how I work with the general overview, knowing that I have over 2,000 libraries. You, who's ever watching this and on the video, if you don't have that many libraries, you may want to work with it a little bit differently. I don't want to clog up and put too many items in my main hold tray. So I have to be mindful how I add items into that. If you don't have a lot of libraries, you may want to work, with all the blue items all at once from this screen, but I need to break it down. So if you want to work with it a little bit differently, please feel free to do that. But I'm going to work with it how I need to work with it with as many libraries as I have. Right now we see the view from high to low. I like looking at it from low to high because then I know what items are chronic and what we really need to work on first. So I am going to add the bottom 50. And then I am going to remove all my libraries. And that brings me, now we're just looking at all the items from the system overview page. And I'm going to add all the blue items. So that puts us at 152. I could add in the reds right now. It will chunk it up a little bit, but maybe we should just do that for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to add the red items from here. That's 316. If I add the library back in and add the top 50, that gives me my top 50 red ones. We're at 317, but we're just going to run these for a minute. So it shouldn't be Okay, so again, I like running the same way. I will put the timer on 1 minute and select all. And now I'll select play to start running those frequencies. Right, awesome. So again, 42% average rectification, and the range between harmony, alignment, and energy flow is really tight, only a 4% range. So that's awesome. So again, I'm going to go to rescan because we're above 40%. And I'm going to select the highs and the lows and put the timer to 30 seconds. And let's see how we do here. Okay, awesome. So again, 47% rectification, and the range on the 3 percentages is within 20%. So this is wonderful. So we can back out of here now. And again, I'm going to clear the main hold tray. How is everybody feeling? I didn't ask beforehand how everybody was feeling and to rate it, but do you feel any shifts after these first 2 steps? You can just put it in the chat and let me know. I do want to look and see how that aura is doing. So we're still seeing some of this not so nice energy in there. Again, for the most part, we're mostly grounded. This isn't feeling so great to me. So we're going to keep working on that. Again, this is just some like intuitively thinking that, the eclipse that was just here, it did clear a lot of good stuff for some of us, but I think that there's a lot of negative collective energy, and I think that's what we might be seeing and working with right now. So anyway, so that's what we're going to be working with as to what I'm going to look at in our libraries. So first, I'm just going to bring up, where is it? The spiritual protection. And it is saying that we need grounding, auric protection, all dark energy cleared, and protective jewelry. I am going to add in all these items. So I am just going to, I arrowed back because I'm just going to drag and drop the library title, and that will put all the items in the tray. And then I'm going to go to my custom libraries, and there is a library that I'm going to work with here. It's a little woo-woo, but sometimes we can be a little woo-woo. So I'm going to add in some of these energies here. And I'm going to add in just the blue ones. And hopefully we can clear some of these energies. Okay. And I'm going to add in from Veggiotones 528. And I also want to go back here to Archangels, and I'm just going to add in Metatron and Saint Michael. Where are you? Archangel Michael. Here you are. And we can add these ones that are blue as well. Okay, so I'm just, do I need to hit it? Okay, so now I'm just going to hit begin analysis. And again, I'm going to select 1 minute and run all. Okay, so 39%, that's not bad. The harmony, alignment, and energy flow is pretty tight. I'm just going to deselect. I'm going to move the timer to 0 minutes, and I'm going to select the lows and the highs. I'm not rescanning because it's not above 40%. And then I'm just going to run these frequencies. Okay, that's at 30%. I'm just going to deselect the highs and run the lows. See. Okay, great. So the average percent rectification there was 41%, and it's tight, 40%, 40%, and 44%. I just want to answer Tammy's question. Oh, Claire almost did. Yeah, Tammy, so my rule for rescanning, what I do is if the average percent rectification is above 40%. And the harmony, alignment, and energy flow is within that 20% range. I will rescan it just so that we can see, you know, what the new highs and lows are. And then I'll just work with those highs and lows for about 30 seconds, just to give us a little work with a few extra items that might show up. So here we just got 41% on the lows. That's great. I'm going to deselect those and select the highs. And I'm going to see if we can get above 40% again for these guys. Okay, that's a little bit low, but it's still a good rectification. I'm going to stop here for that. How is it everybody feeling after that? I know that those are some heavy energies that we're trying to clear. Does everybody feel okay after that? Any shifts or changes? Jennifer's feeling good. Awesome. Linda, you're tired. Yeah, that's definitely possible. Let's just see, look at the aura and see what's happening. And I didn't forget about the functional zones. We're going to go there in just a second. So they're not happy. The good news here is that we are seeing a lot of that healthy green, bright light in there, but we're still seeing out dimensionally, which is why I get the sense that it is like more of a collective energy. Seeing that darkness in there. So there is some, you see it a little bit in here in the center too, but overall it's nice. The goal when we are doing this is to see, the optimal would be to have one color. So we're seeing a lot of that green, which is really great, and still see different layers. But we still have some work to do on there. Tammy is asking, so do you scan the first set until you get above 40%, then rescan in a normal session? That's a great question. I like to get above 40%. If it's not above 40%, I will run it again. I run it again, but narrowing down the field. So instead of working with all of them, I just work with the highs and the lows. And sometimes to get above 40%, I may just need to work with the lows. Sometimes when you're working, you need to break it down. Sometimes the amount of frequencies that you're working with may be too big. And I find that when you make them smaller, it works better. No, Linda, that's Linda's asking, when the darker colors have moved to the outside of the aura, does it mean it's clearing and moving out? No, not necessarily. Also, I did a session this morning with a friend and her classic aura was totally green. The classic aura, yeah, sometimes it's easier to see all one color in the older version, which is great. The color of the green does matter. So you would want to see this like really bright, vibrant green. If it's a darker green, it wouldn't be necessarily so great. We're seeing a pale green here, but it looks like that we're a little bit out of our body in here. So, but this is much better than it looked before. So, okay. So what do we want to work with right now? So I'm going to clear this out and go to spiritual protection, and I'm going to go to auric protection. Oh, I just cleared that stuff out. We're working with functional zones. Well, you know what? Someone mentioned entangled insights, so I think we're going to get an entangled insights and functional zone. I won't really go into much detail on the entangled insights, though. I'm going to add the auric protection and the grounding to the main hold tray, and then I'm going to select auric protection. And I'm going to hit load all insights, and I'm going to select all, and now hit check. Okay, and I'm going to add in all items that are 100%. And potentially these are items that could be affecting our auric protection. Hangover. That's interesting. And I'm also going to add in the items that are 1%. And I usually do that just because if you think of a bell curve, I'm just adding in both sides to keep it balanced. I'm not really going to go into more depth on the aura because it really takes you down a slippery slope as I keep answering those questions, or I shouldn't say slippery slope. It takes you down a rabbit hole. There is an aura class that I do. If you're interested, you can always email me, Denise at Inside Health Apps. Okay, so I've entered the 1% and the 100%, and now I'm going to back out of here. And I'm going to go into the main hold tray. And so now that we're in progressive insights, let me just run the analysis. And I'm just going to move this over. Hold on. So okay, so you can see on, I think it's your left, the manual that talks about the functional zones. So I'm going to select the auric protection. Okay, and then I'm going to go down and above the play banner in black, you could see it says functional zone considerations, and I'm going to select that. Okay, so now we see the different functional zones. So looking at this interference zone. So if you look on the manual, the interference zone has to do with cognitive flexibility, multitasking, and switching tasks. We can look at that. So we can select that. And so both these items seem to 100% be affecting that. So it's inherited interference stress evaluation. So I'm going to add that to the main hold tray, and toxic substance interference, which is stress evaluation. I'm going to go back out. I'm also going to drag into the main hold tray the interference zone, just covering all bases here. And we can go up to the microorganism zone, and that has to do with fungal, parasitic, viral, bacterial, etc. So let's add that and also click on the line. And these things affect parasite stress evaluation, 99%, and virus stress evaluation, 94%. Those are both interesting things that are showing up to me based on the fact that it is for auric protection. So I'm not going to go into all of these right now. Let's just go into our main hold tray and we can hit begin analysis. And again, I'm going to turn the timer on 1 minute and select all and select play. So we have 39% there, and the harmony, alignment, and energy flow is within that 20%. So that is great. I am going to deselect the alls and again, just play the lows. I'm going to you do the lows and highs together. We didn't have that many items in the tray, so I think that that should be okay. And I'm going to move the timer to 0 minutes. Okay, here we're at 37%, and it goes from 29. So it's a little bit above that. I'm just going to deselect the highs and run the lows for a few seconds here. And here we're at 62%. That's awesome. I can deselect the lows and select the highs. I hope you all see what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to make the chunks of items that I'm working with a little bit smaller to see if it helps get a higher percent rectification. Now this is a little bit lower, so I am going to continue to run this a little bit longer. Great. So the average percent rectification is 55 and it's super tight here, 56, 55, 56. So that's amazing. So I'm going to go back now to the system overview and let's see what kind of change we can see in the aura. Hopefully. going? And does anybody have any questions about working with the functional? Okay, so this is looking better to me. It's not looking as scary. Um, we can still work on it a little bit more, but it does look better. It is still a little murky and fuzzy in the back, and that does suggest some interference, but it does look better to me overall. It we do need some grounding, so I'm gonna just go to I'm going to bring in grounding from here and also go to my gems, which are showing up right here, and bring those in. These are great for grounding. And oh, and these are some living orchid essences that I've added in. Okay, so I'm gonna again 1 minute and select all and see if we can get ourselves a little grounded here. Okay, awesome. So 62% rectification, and it goes from 52 to 73. So that's basically within that 20%. So I'm happy with that. Let's see how our aura looks. How is everybody doing? Do you want to put it in the chat? Are you feeling better? Have you noticed any positive shifts? Just things, and anything improving? So again, there's still that interference in the back. It is still looking brighter to me than the other auras were. So I'm happy about that. This is a little murky, but we do look more grounded because all 4 corners are filled with color. There is some of this dirty, like gray or black in here. That is energy that is moving out. I would love if that looked a little bit better. We can try running this a little bit longer. Put that on. I'm just going to run the lows. Okay, awesome. So it's 74%, and that is really tight in there. Let's do the same thing with the highs. And again, 36%, that's still a good rectification. So how are you guys? How are you feeling? Can you want to put it in the chat? That way I can just see how everybody is doing, how you're feeling. You guys all fall asleep. So, okay, so we're kicking the can around here a little bit. So it does look a little bit murkier. This is going to happen when you're working. It doesn't mean that you did anything negative or you're making the client or anybody worse. It just means sometimes when you're working with these energies, and a lot of times these negative, like kind of nefarious energies, they may hide for a little bit and then they kind of come back and surface. Overall, you can see that there's the green in there that wants to like shine brightly, but there's that dark overlay in there, which isn't so great. And again, you can see these energies coming in. So that may just need to settle a little bit. I really what I base everything on is how everybody is feeling. So if everybody is feeling good and they're feeling, Linda's saying she's feeling lighter, and Jennifer is saying she's more relaxed. Tammy said she was relaxed at first and tired now. Yeah, that's pretty normal. I see that a lot in my sessions. The brain's doing a lot of work. So sometimes it's the mental energy that can tire us out more than like physical energy. But as long as everybody is feeling good, that is all that matters. If anybody had anything that wasn't feeling good and they feel that they're being affected by the energies, or something still needs to clear more, please let me know and we can work on that. Dominique, I feel flu is coming. Are you saying you feel a little achy, like you're getting the flu? Those could be some Herc symptoms. Make sure you drink plenty of water to help with that. Let me just see here what we can do here too. I'm just going to go into my pain library. And we'll work with the blues and the reds in here. And hopefully that will help. And everybody in the functional zone, you didn't need me to go over anything there. I'm just going to work with the lows. So that's at 31%. That's not, it's still good. It's not above 40%. Dominique, how are you feeling? Did that help at all with your, with the flu symptoms you're kind of feeling? I'm guessing it's kind of an achiness. You feel the same? Okay, still drink plenty of water. Hopefully, that should subside in a few minutes. Tammy, is asking, did I erase the main hold tray before adding the functional zones? I had to add things into the main hold tray, and then I selected from the left side which item I wanted to specifically look at the functional zones for. So I had selected the auric field or auric protection, I think it was. And then I selected functional zone, and then I dragged and dropped from the functional zone into the main hold tray. So no, I didn't erase everything. I added the functional zone items that showed up into the main hold tray as well. I mean, I guess you could deselect the other items if you wanted to. I did not. Let's just, you're welcome. Okay, so that's at 59%, and we're pretty good here. Let's just go back because we're close to the top of the hour. Let's just check the aura, see how that's doing. And we can hide the avatar. Well, I don't really like seeing that dark right in the center there. So I am going to go back. Although seeing that doesn't mean it's it's like been a bad session because the aura looks like that, but I do feel better if I don't leave it like that. So I'm just going to add the spiritual protection. And I'm going to go into the meridians and add the governing meridian and the conception vessel meridian. And in sacred geometry, I'm going to add Metatron and just work with these for like 30 seconds. It's page 47 in the middle. Okay, great. Now let's just hope that the aura looks a little bit better now for us. Great. So Dominique is saying she feels a bit better and less heavy. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And now we are reverted back. Our the physical body is that bright green color. I'd love to see that. We are battling with these the interference a little bit. Sometimes I have to say you do need to have a regular energy clearing, and it's hard to clear all of this. Also, we're swimming in a lot of bad stuff in the collective right now. So don't get discouraged if you can't clear that. And we can look at the old, and that looks much better to me. And we are grounded and in our bodies right now. So I'm really happy with that. I hope everybody is feeling better. We are at the end of our Thursday live for today. I hope everybody learned something, got a little bit of entangled insights and a little bit of functional zones, and hopefully you're all feeling better and can head into your weekend doing better. You're welcome, everybody. Everybody's saying thank you, thank you, thank you. It is my pleasure working with you, and I look forward to seeing everybody here next Thursday. Thank you, Claire, for helping in the chats. Greatly appreciate it. Linda saying good learning or unlearning for me. Unlearning. Okay. What did you have to unlearn? What are you unlearning, Linda? Do you think you were doing something wrong? Oh, the outer layer of the aura. Okay. Yeah, it's not really moving out. If you look at if you look up the auric field and the auric layers, the different layers represent the different layers of the auric field. So the outer layer is showing you where you're at. Do I have a class on the QuantiCap? We can do a class on the QuantiCap if everybody would like that, sure. So anyway, have a great week. We will see you back next Thursday, the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. I think that's 11 a.m. Pacific, and it's now 7 o'clock UK time.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that is awesome. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.